you know, you can kind of go lead yourself right into that with it. So your answer was pretty close, you know, but just make sure you know all of those little things. Now, bend his neck a little more. He needs to have a tiny bit more flexion. If you're gonna bend the neck, you know, bend it just a little so it's very defined. And again, you're making sure your outside hand is staying with him when you're bending, so that, you know, you're not taking, but you're not giving, that it's just allowing through a soft place. Good. Doesn't have to be any rounder than this. He almost here gets a tiny bit behind the vertical, so just be careful. It's not there yet, but it's almost, and it's hard on a horse with a short neck, you know.
Doing trot walk transitions seem to help.
Absolutely, because it lets him breathe, you know. And again, sometimes just the rider exhaling a little helps. Like, you know, you can even think trot, almost trot, exhale, keep trotting, you know, instead of actually walking, you know, trot, kind of collect the trot, exhale, push your hands forward as if you're gonna walk, but don't let him just find, and keep trotting. Good boy. And also builds a little collection in there too, so you're showing how to do, you know, how to allow your horse to reach for the bit in a little bit more upper level technique here. Almost walk, like literally think you're almost gonna walk and then kind of change your mind. Yeah, good boy. And that's a takeaway. That doesn't have to be like, if you prefer to do it at the walk for the testing, that's fine, but like that's just for you to work on with him. Now I think you without stirrups look quite good, so I don't have, you know, your seat stays very marshmallowy. Your leg looks good to me. You're keeping your heel back and down as much as you can, which is good. So for me, without stirrups is fine. I'd like to see a little canter with it. Good. Belly button to your spine, down through your hips, soft through your hips. Yep, elbows look good. Hands are nice and even. And obviously his frame, unless you're collecting in the canter, doesn't probably get too closed off. You know, he's more willing to kind of keep his jump up to the bridle here. So unless you're probably preparing for like half passive flying changes and half halting him, you know, back on his hind end, he's more willing to kind of stay up and out here, which is good. Or at least that's the feeling I'm getting today. Careful with that right hand. Keep it level. You know, or think about lifting the left hand up. Okay, it was together but late behind. Like he changed together, but the hind leg was just after the front. But it wasn't late in as the next stride. Good. Now my arena, because of the grade, you do go downhill there a little bit, so that could be the reason. I mean, just so that I don't have water, you know, flooding. You go down ever so slightly. Take your time. Yeah. And even hip. Stay balanced. Keep his neck straight. Good. Okay, that one was clean. How often do you ride without stirrups?
A lot.
Yeah.
I try to almost every day.
Yeah.
I either ride without stirrups or ride in those